My name's Natalie, and I'm the founder of Job Speak Academy. I'm also a career and communication coach, and I specialize in supporting migrants, refugees, and international students to rebuild their career in Australia. Now, it's December in a few days. I know you're tired. I know you want to wait until January for your job search because it seems like the easy thing to do. And I get it. I am also very tired. Look at these really tired eyes. We all want a break. However, a lot of people are telling me that they're waiting until January, which is fine. Wait until January. But what I'm here to tell you is that in January, when the job market opens up again, this is when you need to be ready to go. You need to have your resume updated and ready. Your LinkedIn needs to be updated. You need to know what jobs that you're applying for because if you don't, if you don't do the preparation now, it means that in January, you're really not going to be getting interviews and job offers until March. So if you start preparing now, just a little bit, not a lot, that means that you will be ready, confident, clear, and able to get moving first, second week in January when the job market starts opening up and people are back in the office and hiring people. Okay, so prepare now, it reduces the stress. And I know how stressed everyone gets. I'm a migrant, I'm from Scotland. I've been there with the job searches and your visa struggles. So being really confident and reducing the stress as much as possible is the best way to move forward. So let's have a look, okay? Some of the things is very obvious. If you start preparing now, it means that in January you are not rushing, you are not panicking. Your anxiety is a little bit less so that you'll be able to really focus on your job searches, creating good applications, writing your cover letters, answering those recruitment or employer screening calls, and feeling confident going into interviews. If you don't start preparing now, you'll be scrambling and rushing to get your resume updated, understanding how to use LinkedIn. Without the preparation, it's going to be a lot more stressful. If you understand now and do some research now, you'll get clarity as well. You'll understand what jobs suit you, what jobs are available in your location, and what is best for you right now. One of the biggest mistakes I see with migrant job seekers and international students is that they're applying for the wrong job or they don't know what jobs are available in their city or region. Every job market is different. Adelaide has different job opportunities to Sydney. Newcastle in New South Wales have different job opportunities to Perth. So you need to understand your local job market a bit to know what jobs will be available. And confidence. We all want to be confident and calm. So words come easier when they're practiced. Actions come easier when they're practiced, okay? What you really want to succeed in the January job search is to feel calm and not pressure and not panic. So, what you're asking me as a career coach, this is my suggestions for what you should do now. And like I said, I'm not asking you to do a million things. I'm asking you to do some small activities every day. Your resume and your LinkedIn is probably the number one technique or topic that you have to do. Technique is the wrong word, excuse me. So you need to know your direction. You need to know what job that you want to apply for. So pick 2 to 3 job titles that you want to target in Australia. Okay. If you don't know what jobs that you want to apply for or what jobs you can apply for, this is when you need to start asking for some help. Understand the titles and how they differ to your country and understand what jobs you are able to apply for realistically in Australia. Make sure that they match your experience and the local market language. Okay. So, what I mean by that is that look at 2 to 3 job adverts, read them. Don't just focus on the job adverts. For example, in Australia, a coordinator might be a higher level than what it was in your country. Or they might say a consultant in Australia, but it might just actually be a coordinator level in your country. The levels are different. So it's important to actually read the job skills that they ask for and read what they're asking for in the requirements as well. Okay. Read that, check that's what you can do, and don't forget you only need about 65 to 70% of the job advert. You don't need 100%, so you can still apply even if you don't have everything. But look at how they're talking about things in Australia by the local language. And that local language, that skills, they're what needs to be in your resume. Okay. And that's what I do in my resume consultations. I work with clients to coach them through understanding their skills, their achievements, how they've used their skills, their characteristics, their strengths, and getting all of the metrics and the outcomes out of their entire career. And it takes time because you're translating from English, from your native language to English. So it does take time. And then what I do is I analyze maybe 3 to 4 job adverts and make sure that you have a resume that is completely optimized with all the keywords in, all the local language, so that you get past the ATS, but so that the recruiter and the employer can very clearly see what you can do and how you can help them in their job as well. So that's number one. Choose your direction, know what job you want, and analyze some job adverts. Number two, research the job titles. Look at about 10 jobs ads and write down the repeated skills. Notice the difference in titles between your country and Australia. So that's what I was saying. You don't need to, write down everything from 10 job adverts, but just look at the job adverts. Look at the skills that are repeated. Try and do your own research to understand how they're different. Are you available to do coordinator level, consultant level, manager level, specialist level, assistant level? You know, every level is different in Australia and it depends on the size of the company sometimes as well. Smaller companies might have a manager, whereas if you're in a bigger company, you would only be a coordinator level. So it's your job or my job if you choose to get support from me to help you to understand the jobs that you can apply for. This is the hard one, and this is why my resume consult takes 2 hours on Zoom because it's so hard for you to understand and think about what you've done and get out on paper all the amazing things that you've done throughout your entire career in Australia, but also overseas. So understand your achievements. Write 5 stories of something you improved, completed, solved, or contributed to. Include numbers, outcomes, and results where possible. Okay, so really think back at your career. Did you do a project? Did you lead a team? Did you get really great results? Did you save money for a company? Did you save time for your team? Did you create a process document? What did you do in your career? And now I'm asking you to write 5 as a head start. However, your resume needs to be full of them. Every part of your resume, every sentence really should be an achievement focused sentence with numbers and outcomes. And that's what I try and do in my resume consultations. But for now, start with 5 so you start really thinking about what your achievements are because it's often the hardest thing to do. Identify your skills clearly. List technical skills. List soft skills, workplace skills. So, workplace skills and technical skills are actually the same. They're called job specific skills. Find examples to prove each one with real experience. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes I see on resumes. Number one is that you are just writing duties, you know, answered calls, led a team, sent emails, drove a bus. Okay. But what you really need to be doing is number one, linking skills to those activities. So if you answered calls, what skill did you use to answer those calls? Communication, problem solving, analytical skills. Okay. And then When you know the skills that you're using, you need to write the skills on your resume, but give examples of when you've used those skills. So if you want to prove that you have communication skills, when did you use your communication skills? Was it in meetings? Was it answering calls? Was it doing presentations at work? Was it delivering project results to clients in a huge boardroom? They want to see specific examples of when you've used those skills. And again, they really want outcomes and metrics if you can get that. And then update your resume. And look, I'm gonna be really horrible. Not horrible, but just honest. A lot of the resumes I see are just not good enough. You are in Australia and you are starting your career again, not from scratch, but you're starting your career in a new country. What you need to do is show your overseas experience in a new way, show your achievements and your skills and your outcomes, show why you are the best candidate for a job in Australia. But a lot of the resumes, they are entry level hospitality resume style. They're just not strong enough for a candidate to be applying for project managers, marketing analysts, data engineers, social workers, psychologists. Your resume needs to, number one, be in the style of the Australian resume, but number two, match the level of job that you're applying for. If you're applying for a waitress job, it doesn't have to be a big resume. It can be a simple resume. If you're applying for a retail job at Zara or H&M, again, it doesn't have to be a complicated resume. But if you're applying for a professional job, it really needs to show what you're doing and what you've done and why you're the best person to interview. So a lot of resumes that I see are just not there. So I really need you to consider if your resume is good enough for Australia or if it sells yourself well enough in Australia. And if you're not confident about that, I also need to ask yourself why you're not investing in a resume writer to help you. Doesn't have to be me, but you really need to be investing in your career to get those results. And it does pay off, I promise you. Rewrite the summary to match the Australia job title. Use bullet points and achievements, not responsibilities, and add the key skills and keywords from the job advert. They're the three simple things that you need to be doing. You need to be doing a lot more, really. There's a lot more that goes into resume, and I've written about that in blogs, but this is the simple part that you can do. Update your LinkedIn profile. So, headline, very simply, you could say job title and skills. Okay. Um, I am actually going to be offering a LinkedIn workshop in December, and I'm going to be offering it regularly throughout 2026. And it's going to be 2 hours, and it's going to be talking about how to write your optimized profile, how to use your profile, how to communicate, how to find people and talent acquisition, and how to write content to get a personal brand in Australia. So it's going to be the 4 steps of everything that you need to do. But this is the simple thing. If you do not join, this is the simple thing. So update your LinkedIn profile. So headline, job title, and skills. So if you're a data engineer and you use SQL, that's just my client I've just worked with. That's in my head. So headline is data engineer, SQL, software. Okay. Add about section, which is short and clear and really shows your achievements. And your skills section must match the skills from the job adverts. So when you can input skills, all of those skills that you researched from the job adverts, they are then what you can add into your LinkedIn profile as well. And they are like SEO, they're optimized. So if a recruiter searches data engineer in Sydney, if you have those skills listed on your LinkedIn profile, there is a higher chance that you will come up to the top. So it's really important. Okay. Now, if you have time. So up until 6, this is the bare minimum, okay? And this is why I've offered the power hour, and you can get a power hour until Sunday. It's only $140, and I only offer these once every year as a special promotion to kind of get you ready and started for January and the new job market and the new year with your career goals. And these would probably be, one session in a power hour. Okay, resume is a bit different, it's a bit harder, but to get all those, this is a session in a power hour, okay? But as an example, you could do whatever you want in a power hour. So I would suggest up until number 6 is the minimum that you should do to get started for 2026. However, if you want to go a little bit further, if you've got a bit time over Christmas, prepare for screening calls. They are usually the hardest part for my clients. And I know answering the call is, you see this number, you're worried about your English, you haven't got your resume in front of you, you're not prepared, and it's a call where you are put on the spot. And usually this is where 8 out of 10 people get stuck and don't go to the next stage because they're not ready for that screening call. Okay. So try and be prepared for the screening call. Okay. Practice 2 to 3 scripts for tell me about yourself and experience, because that's usually what it's about in the screening call. They want to know about you, your experience, and your skills. Okay. You don't need to say a script word for word, but I would suggest bullet pointing the things that you want to be known for. So, how many years' experience? What are the main skills that you've got? What is one of your big results or outcomes from your last job? Okay. Why are you a really great candidate? And that is what you can be using in your screening calls. Even if it's not specific to the job, it's a really good starting point, and they can ask you more specific questions if they want to. Okay. The screening call is just getting you to the next step of the interview process. It's not to get you the job. Okay. So you just need to get to the next step. Okay. Next, number 8, start networking slowly and gently. So connect with 5 to 10 people per week in your industry. Again, this is what I'll be showing you how to do and how to write the messages in this LinkedIn workshop that's coming up in December. In a few days, I'll be launching it. I would look for talent acquisition as a first step. Okay. So if there's a company that you really want to work for, say you want to work for Kohl's or Woolworths, okay, search in LinkedIn, talent acquisition, Woolworths, and you will get a list of people who work in talent acquisition. And their job is to find people who would be good for jobs in that company. Okay. And that's a really good strategy and how people have got interviews in the past. If you can't find talent acquisition because it's a smaller company, look for HR, managers, project managers, whatever works specifically for your company, for your industry, for your location, and also recruiters. Always look for recruiters. They are easy to add. One very small tip is send short messages, not long paragraphs. It's common for a lot of people to send really, really long paragraphs and they don't get read because in LinkedIn, a lot of people look on their phone. And if it's a long message, it just scrolls on and on and on. So make it super short and easy to read, and always end with a call to action. So, call to action is what you want them to do. So, would you like to see my resume? Would you like to jump on a call to discuss my experience? Always offer something. And remember, this is for talent acquisition and for HR and for recruiters whose job it is to find people. If it's a manager, it's a little bit different because they might not necessarily have a job for you. They might not make the decisions. So only focus on HR, talent acquisition, and recruiters to do this. For managers, slightly different, and I will go more into that into the link in the LinkedIn workshop. However, what you need to do for them is kind of find on their profile something that is relatable. So, did they post an article? Did they win an award or something like that? And compliment them on that to show that you've made an interest. Slightly different. So, I know I wrote managers here, but what I would do is focus on talent acquisition, HR, and recruiters just to make it easy at this step for you. Number nine, watch the job market. Okay. Save companies that are hiring now. Make a list of employers that you want to contact next year and turn on jobs alerts for your titles in Seek and on LinkedIn. Okay. On LinkedIn, there's also a really fancy little way that you can go to companies that you want to apply to, and you can click, send me updates. I am interested, and you get notifications every time that company is advertising a job as well. And number 10, start preparing emotionally. Confidence comes from repetition. Okay, you need to be doing these things again and again. I just posted something on LinkedIn today actually about the things that you don't see when people post that they got a job, or when I say my client got a job, let's celebrate them. It's great to celebrate people's achievements because we all know how hard it is. It didn't happen quickly, but there's so many things that happened before that, like doing what I just showed you to do, writing the resume, worrying about their skills, getting annoyed because I'm asking them about all these achievements and metrics, and they say that they don't have numbers, but they do. I promise you, figuring out how to speak on the screening calls, failing at interviews, connecting on LinkedIn, getting worried about why they're getting no job offers. There's so many hard parts, weeks or possibly months before that job offer. Okay, so start preparing yourself for that. It's not going to happen in a week, and prepare yourself for that. Practice speaking, messaging, interview answers, and things before January if you can. Okay, but just keep that in mind. Don't wait until the last minute. And that is why I say you should prepare now, especially your LinkedIn and especially your resume. Know where you will apply, know who you will contact, know what tools you will use. By tools, I mean resume, LinkedIn, Seek. If there's other jobs for your specific industry, like ethical jobs, have everything ready to move by January. And it's worth saying that although the job market is slow, and I know that a lot of you are going home for Christmas, there are still jobs being advertised now. So if you are still applying for jobs, if you want to try now, it's still a great time because there's less people applying. Okay. So if you want to get a job now, if you want to keep moving now, if you're not going away, if you have the capacity to, keep at it. Less jobs, but also less competition because there's less people applying for jobs. Now, that's it. I know if you have any questions, you can let me know. You can send a comment just on this video below. You can send me a direct message on LinkedIn under Natalie Peart, or you can send me a direct message on Instagram under jobspeakacademy.com. Website is jobspeakacademy.com. If you want to book a consultation with me, I would be more than happy to support you. Power Hour is available only until Sunday. Resume consultations are available year round. Strategy consultations are available year round, and so is interview preparation as well. Everything I do includes English, communication, and career development as well, because I've worked as an English teacher and I'm now a qualified career development practitioner. So if you have any questions, please do let me know. And I look forward to working with you soon. Good luck for absolutely everything next year. And you've got this. Keep going.